Hello, Traveller, and welcome to Orpheus Arcadia. This is a very special episode with me, Chugs, where we're going to be taking a look at Shadows of Doubt, which is a sort of procedurally generated noir detective type game. So it's fairly unique. All takes place in a big sandbox, and essentially we are playing the role of a hard-boiled, grizzled ex-detective who has been assigned a case in the middle of the night. So we've just got here a note that's been put under our door telling us to go and find somebody called Mark Vandenberg. And then from there, really, it's up to us to go and figure out where to look for him. So we've been through the very start of the game, and this is a kind of introductory case that we're on at the moment. But essentially all we've done so far is receive that note, pick up some equipment, and then check on the city directory as to where the registered address for this person is. So we're now going to head over to 303 Luo Terrace, and we're going to see basically if we can find some clues as to where this guy is from there. So one of the cool things about this game is that everything around us is happening in a sandbox. So all of these people who obviously haven't turned up out of spite at this stage are walking around, they're living their own lives. Here we go. Good evening. And what they're doing is basically whatever you would do on your day-to-day existence, except that some of them are committing crimes, and it's up to us to figure out who those people are. You see the atmosphere here, lovely and noiry. It's all rainy, it's horrible, it's grimy, very Blade Runner-esque or anything like that. And it really does kind of give you that vibe that we're, out investigating in the dark of the night to try and figure out what's happened here. So in an individual apartment block, we can just see here, got a bunch of different flats. We're going up to the third floor in order to check the address that was on the registry for the person who we need to go and find. And as we can see here, we are in a sort of lobby, and this is their flat, so number 303. To start off with, we're just going to give their flat a bit of a knock. Looks like nobody's in at the moment. Let's see if it's open. Nope. Okay, so we've got a locked door. There's a camera over there. Looks like some security type systems. So we're going to check under the doormat. And bingo, we're going to pick up the key there. We're going to unlock this door and head inside. Ooh. Okay, so immediately within this flat we found ourselves a problem, and that is of course that this television is too loud. And our second problem is that there is a corpse on the floor here, so we need to have a quick look at this. Now that is an unknown citizen at this stage, but I'm assuming it's going to be the owner, Mark Vandenberg, unless of course he is the suspect here. And we're just going to run some analysis on this person. So there was an entry wound from a gun. They've got a pencil, which less immediately useful, but could be relevant, who knows. And then we've got our kind of synopsis here. So for examining the body, it looks like the victim has been shot to death with a pistol or revolver at some point between 11 p.m. last night and midnight tonight. So that tells us that the murder happened pretty recently. In fact, as recently as just over an hour ago, which is not great for our prospects if we're caught in here, I would assume. Otherwise, we need to figure out what's happened to this person. So, looks like you were reading a message at the time, potentially. So to Mark, 10:30 p.m, so a few hours before he was killed. He was trying to take out some sort of insurance policy. Life insurance policy, we can see there. Although in this case, looks like that was rejected, although that is very suspicious timing. So that was found in his flat. We'll add that to the case board, which I'll talk about a bit more in a moment. And then we've got the work ID here. So Mark Vandenberg looks like this. He worked at a place called Purple Management, which we can add to the case board as well, as a marketing executive. And it looks like that is confirmed to be Mark Vandenberg, given that the photo is the same. So that's definitely Mark. So we now know that he has been killed. He is the victim in this particular crime. Okay, aside from that, I've got a piece of crumpled paper here. So this is some sort of self-help group, is it? Good to see. We've got a calendar. So January the 1st, meet Sisha at Popeye Pelican Diner. Be careful what you say. Well, that sounds suspicious. Got a note with the code for a safe at this plat, which may turn out to be relevant later. And then we've got a note here saying, tonight you need a piece. Go to the pink hardware company, knock, then give them the password Admiral from Jay. Interesting. So, is this somebody being forewarned that Mark is going to be killed, or is this for some reason left here and pinned up by the killer, which, to be honest, would be pretty irresponsible of them. We've got another note here. So the work rota for Mark Vandenberg. He's a marketing executive. He works 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Makes sense to me. We've got a vent up here, which we can open and potentially use that as an escape route if we need to. And then we've got a bedroom here. So we're going to walk in. We can see immediately the safe has been opened over here in the corner. If we just have a look at this, we can see there's a baseball cap and a baseball in the safe. And doesn't look like there's anything else at the moment. What we can do is do some fingerprint scanning. So we'll go ahead and do that. So number one, we've got type A fingerprints. And then we've got fingerprints belonging to Mark Vandenberg here. So 2 sets of fingerprints. Looks like potentially those are the fingerprints that belong to whoever opened this safe, which may well be the killer. Again, let's just confirm that. Yep, so some more fingerprints here. One belonging to person A, one belonging to Mark. Alright. We can then have a look at the body itself. Are there any fingerprints around you, Mark, that may be relevant? Doesn't seem like it. Although we can search this bin. Dirty napkin doesn't seem relevant. Crushed bottle of cola doesn't seem relevant. And another dirty napkin. It's not ideal. Okay, we've got a door key, which we've already got here. Got an address book. So we've got a diamond. Lian, Flagios, Carice, Don, Jabrik, Sisha. Sisha was the name on the calendar, so we're going to bring that over here for now. And then we've got Chippo and Waylon. I don't think we have any knowledge of them yet, but we'll take the address book in its entirety just in case. Awesome. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to pick up the phone and we're going to dial for recently dialed numbers. Just at the top right is telling us the number to call. So at 11:30, somebody at this number calls the victim, and that's actually within the time frame of his murder. So that could well have been something to do with the murder directly. Awesome. Okay, aside from that, we've got another bin here. We can take a quick look at that. So, a receipt for dinner at the Popeye Pelican Diner. That, I believe, is where he was going to meet Sisha there. And actually, we can see there, that's at 11:15 last night, which is just before the murder happened again. And Mark paid. So, Mark did go to that diner at least. So it might be worth checking that out a little bit further. And again, this is sort of a bit of a tutorial-y type level, but it seems to want me to scan more of the same fingerprints again. Okay, here we go. I've already got the fingerprints game. Okay, there we are. Awesome. Okay, no. Something on this side, potentially? Doesn't seem to be. Okay, maybe we close the safe. We'll have better luck. Yeah, I'm not sure what it wants us to look for there. Otherwise, we can look at the... I see. Okay, it wants us to just verify that that type A fingerprint belongs to someone else, I think. So that was found in the flat as well. Awesome. Okay, and we have trip sun alarm, which means that the police are here. So that vent that we picked up earlier is going to come in handy. So we're just going to get out of this building sharpish through the vents. Let's see. Yeah, if we just head straight down here, this should be into somebody else's apartment, which we can then just walk out of as if nothing happened. Or at least that's the theory. So we turn the lights on. In the apartment below, seems to be unoccupied, so let's just walk straight out. Okay, we need to just pick that lock first. Very skilled at doing things in the pitch darkness, it seems. Awesome. So we've got out of the apartment, and we should just be able to walk straight out of the building without any other issues at this stage. Okay, so once we're out, we should be able to take stock of where we are. So, we did find a few things of interest there, apart from the fact that the person we've been sent to find is dead. So, if we look at our board, in fact, actually, we'll go and get this form first. So we're going to go and collect a form from City Hall, which will tell us basically what we need to know in order to complete this case. So we're just going to sprint over as fast as we can. Looks like a City Hall up ahead there. That's the generic governmenty looking thing. And if we just enter the building, we can walk up, we can pick up a case form. And if we go and click on the resolve button up here, we'll be able to see that basically what we need to do to finalise this case. So we need to identify the name of the killer, we need to arrest the killer if we can, we need to identify the evidence that ties them to the crime scene, we need to figure out where they live, and we need to find the murder weapon if we want to do it perfectly. So that gives us a fair bit to go at. Now in terms of what we know, so we got a note telling us that we needed to go find Mark van den Berg. We went to the address of Mark van den Berg and we found that he was dead in that building. Within his flat, we found his work ID, which confirmed what he looked like and where he worked, which is a place called Purple Management. We found his address book, which mentioned somebody called Sisha, who we saw on the calendar was going to meet him for dinner at the Popeye Pelican Diner. And we had a note to that effect as well, I believe. Oh no, this note is actually another lead, which is telling us that somebody picked up a gun from the Pink Hardware Company, which again is something we might want to go and investigate. We also got a call from this number as the crime was being committed, or near enough. So a few different avenues for us to go at here, but the only physical evidence we found at this point for the potential killer is that there's a fingerprint at the crime scene that did not belong to Mark van den Berg, even though he lives alone, so that's suspicious. And in fact, just to undo all my good work there, looks like the game is going to tell us what we need to do anyway. So go and check out the diner or check out his place of work. So I think the diner is probably where we want to look first. Okay, here we go. We've got our leads broken down for us. So his place of business, we've got the diner, we've got the weapons dealer, we've got the phone calls. We're just going to disable that for now. We're going to try and big brain this situation. And we are going to go to the Popeye Pelican Diner. And we're going to have a look around to see if there's anything there which could potentially lead us to the scene of the crime. And looks like this is the diner here, so that's nice and easy for us, I suppose. 24 hours a day as well, so no issues with trespassing on this occasion. Awesome. So we're in what appears to be an empty diner. Oh, no, there's a collapsed person on the floor over there. Hello, citizen, how are you? What's your name? You're Lena Mathis. Okay, that's great. You seen anything unusual? No, you haven't. Do you know Mark Vandenberg? Okay, you saw them around Lloyd Terrace, which I think is the building where he lives, so that makes sense. Can I see your fingerprints? Okay. Great. Got any spare change? Okay, fine. So we've got their fingerprints. Oh, and we've got another citizen there. He's just rushed off into the bathroom. So if we go and have a look at our case board, I don't think any of that was relevant because it didn't mention it as being linked to this fingerprint here. So they may be aware of the victim, but they didn't necessarily know anything else about the case or have any other relevance. How about you? What's your name? You're not going to tell me? I'm used to it. Have you seen anything unusual? No? Do you know Mark Vandenberg? Okay, you saw them around their house again. Good to know. Do you know someone called Sisha? Okay, not enough information. Can I have your fingerprints? Okay, unknown citizen. I'm not going to ask you to change this time, it just seems a bit unprofessional. Again, nothing linked to those fingerprints, it seems. Oh, okay, we've got like a notice board over here. Let's have a quick look. Alright, the door code to the office has been set to 2811. Might come in handy a little bit later if we need to use that. And then, don't mind me back here. Okay, we've got a bunch of people of interest potentially. So, Li Yan Yi works here. We've got Wang Jing Men who works here. Sorry for butchering these names, by the way. We've got Maria Doherty who works here. We've got Tequila Ely who works here. We've got Booker Evans who works here. And we've got Pelagios Leordis who works here as well. I think his name was mentioned in that address book. But aside from that, not sure any of that is going to be useful for us right now. So we still really need to get to the bottom of whose fingerprints these are. And we need to find this Sisha person who I was hoping, to be honest, just be kind of kicking around here. We've got some footprints. I guess we could look for fingerprints to see if the same fingerprints appear here as they did in the apartment. So potentially we can look at this. Oh, okay. Mark Vandenberg's fingerprints. Interesting. So we need to pick up that note. What is this? Starting soon in Lafroig, anonymous support group. Come and share the load. Popeye Pelican Diner, Wednesday evenings. Go to this, Mark. You'll feel better for it. Tell them Sisha de Jong sent you. Okay, now that is extremely useful. So now we've got a full name for Sisha de Jong. That is who Mark met, and we know who's here because he touched this paper. So he obviously wasn't keen on the idea of getting that help. Alright, so with a name, we should be able to go to the city directory, and we're looking for Sisha de Jong. So we go to D. S. de Jong. Okay, perfect. We can see here we've got an address. 302 Burn Towers. It's a rather unfortunate name. So we're going to head to that address, and we are going to see who this person is and whether they're involved. So it looks like they were trying to encourage Mark to join some sort of self-help group. We saw in his flat a bunch of documentation for people who need support. So maybe this is just a friend. It's all kind of a coincidence, but I'm guessing there's going to be some relevance to the case here. Lovely little snow effect here in this frigid city, should we call it? And it looks like we're walking into Burn Towers now. Were you someone we just saw at the diner? Yes, but okay. I'm sure that won't be relevant later on. Let's wait and see. So we're going up to the 3rd floor, where we should be able to at least knock for Sisha and see whether or not we can get anything useful out of them. So 303, we're going to 302. Here we go. Knocking at the door now. We've got someone coming to answer it. And hello. Who are you? Okay, so you are Sisha de Jong. Okay, that's great. So yes, we need to tell you about the killer. So Mark's dead. You knew something bad was going to happen. You have to help. Mark mentioned someone called Junzu. I think Jun's a hired killer. I once saw them at that place, the Coral Hair Bar. You have to stop them before they come for me. Here's 200 crows that Mark left me. Okay. Also, there's a sync disc in my mailbox from Mark. Take it, I don't want it. Okay, well that's a lot of information, which could potentially be relevant. So, somebody called June was mentioned by Mark as a potential killer. He has been seen at the Coral Hair Bar, which gives us a name and a potential location. But what we might want to do is to check the phone book to see if we can get an address for this person. I think we've also got this note. Tonight you need a piece. Go to the Pink Hardware Company, knock, and then get the password Admiral from a J. So J, potentially relevant to June as well. Although why would this note be in the victim's apartment if Jay was trying to tell somebody that they need a piece? So not sure how that one fits in, but that's something we can go and check out as well. So that's the start of our investigation here. We're going to take a break, and next time we're going to find out if we can get a little bit further into this mystery.